This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right, Showtime Wednesday, and a beautiful May gray day here in sunny, semi-cloudy California, but it's nice. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's not too sunny. It's not too cloudy. I feel good. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, or while you're tuning in, to Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, right here every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast, more than ever, God willing, right here. So for those who are tuning in, or those who will be tuning in, those who will be listening via podcast in the future, in the present, welcome. I love and appreciate all of you that take the time out of your lives to tune in to little old us. But there's a reason for tuning into little old us, because I bring you things I feel are very relevant that need to be talked about. Tonight I got a great show. I do. No matter how much I think people are pretty hip to what's going on in the world, life, personal, business, everything, I really come to realize that there are a lot of people that don't have a clue to a lot of things. And that's why I bring these topics. And tonight is going to be one of those topics, because even though I feel like it's pretty common everyday sense nowadays, you just realize that, hey, my psychic medium is on, watching. I just felt that psychically. Psychic medium, Tony Green. I feel her presence in the air right now. Sorry. All right, I'm getting sidetracked. Look, a squirrel. Tonight I'm bringing on, and it's taken me a while. This is the way, I guess, my modum of operandi, or however you want to call it. It's taken me a while to finally get in touch with her, because she's kind of popular too. Actually, she's really popular in my opinion. And we finally connected back a while ago, and I got her on this show tonight. So buckle up, because for those of you who are, above average in life, not a problem. But for a lot of people, they're going to be scratching their heads and they just don't understand. But tonight, I'm going to help you understand, because I think I have. In fact, this is my favorite common sense lesbian on the internet. I got Carol on the show tonight. I mean, you got to separate sexuality from intelligence. And the problem is with a lot of people, they just blend it all together, or non-intelligence. And I'm bringing her in because she's got a good grip on life, and she happens to be a lesbian. It's real simple. But unfortunately, and we're going to talk about grouping things together, unfortunately, a lot of people just don't get it. They don't get it. But she's going to be here to explain things to you. I got lots of questions. We're going to be covering a lot of ground, and she's going to be on this show coming up in just a few short minutes. So again, yeah, she's really popular on Instagram, TikTok, things like that. So we're going to tell you all about that. But coming up in a few minutes, my favorite lesbian, conservative lesbian, and common sense lesbian, just all of the above. Good human being. Carol's going to be on the show coming up in a few minutes. Also, I'm kind of excited about this too. So write this down. Next week. Where am I? Got so many things going on. Next week, I have free thinker Matt Kim is going to be on this show. And Matt, I found this guy. He blew up, came out of nowhere. And he understands right from wrong, good from bad, intelligence versus ignorance, everything that's going on in this country and this world. He has this amazing way of explaining it to you in a non-confrontational kind of way. And I think you're going to like it. In fact, I think you're going to love it, except for those libtards that he's going to make your heads melt. But then again, he has a good way of just calmly explaining things. And that's my goal, is to not get banned off of YouTube, and because these guys are really at my ass, they're up my ass big time. They just keep on taking things down, but I try to stay somewhere so I can reach the people who are sitting on the fence. I don't need to go to Rumble. Everybody is in agreement in Rumble. I'm trying to reach the ones who just are floating through life and mean well, but they need more of a clue. I'm trying to bring those clues to them. Truckloads of them. So next week, Matt Kim going to be on this show. Free thinker, podcaster, and amazing way of explaining what's going on in our lives today. And maybe he'll strike a nerve and ring a bell. You may agree with him or you may not, but you got to respect the way he gives it to you. So that's coming up next week, okay? Also, please don't forget, I was just talking about YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free, Peter G Show. Facebook, official Facebook page, follow. I'm on 11 different platforms. Just subscribe. They're shadow banning me. They're giving me a hard time when I hit these current event subjects. They love when I do all the fancy, talk about puppies and things. They got no problem with that. But when I talk about real world life, because life is important, they give me hell. And they're making it very difficult for me to stay, to be seen. They have their tricks, algorithms, all this kind of stuff. But if you subscribe, it helps you know that, hey, I'm there. So please, that's all I ask. It's free. Harmless. You might actually learn something too. We talk about all kinds of things. Current events, alcoholism, life, people, parents, grieving, losing a parent, losing people, just all kinds of stuff. That's what I do. It's my job. Don't mention it. Please, just subscribe. And for those of you who are super busy, you're on the road, driving, commuting back and forth to work, Google Peter G Show podcast. You can put an earbud in your ear. You can just take the show on the road with you. You can listen to it. Most of my shows, I try to keep them audible to where it's understandable without, sometimes we're showing videos that, I wish you were watching, but the next best thing to be in there. And again, it's simple, and listen to it while you're at work, because we know work is boring. I don't have to tell you that. You already know that. So do the next best thing. Put an earbud in your ear. Google Peter G Show podcast and just listen to the show. But when you can watch, I truly appreciate you, although I appreciate all of you for everything anyway. All right. And lastly, I want to make sure that we hear from my good friends over at Clean Star. Well, before I even tell you that, I'm going to be bringing Carol up in just 2 minutes, because first we have to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their DX1 money-saving fuel additive. Makes sense to save money. So I'll be right back, and then we'll be bringing Carol on this show live and in the flesh. So stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in the oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 Driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 Driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, people. Clean Start Products with their DX1 driver. All I can tell you is this. They actually have a product that works. I use it myself. I have a high mileage vehicle, and I noticed the difference within 3 or 4 tankfuls of gasoline. Let's face it, gas is expensive. Cars are ridiculously expensive. Make them last, let them work to their fullest ability. This little bitty bottle, put one of these little bottles into your fresh oil change, last the whole oil change. Then every time you go and fuel up your tank, you put one of these little bottles in your tank. It works. Better lubricity. You're going to get up to 10%. I know I get better fuel mileage, and I got a big pick. I mean, my daughter's a horse girl. Everybody knows that. Most everybody. We go pick up hay and things like that. It's a big truck. It's heavy. I noticed within the 3rd tank that I was stepping on the gas pedal a lot less to get it moving than I normally do. It works. You can put it in your friggin' lawnmower and make your lawnmower do better. It's all I can tell you is go to www.cleanstartproducts. Go to their website. There's a phone number there. Ty Thompson will personally speak to you if you have questions. Call him. There's a number there. Call him. He'll answer all your questions. He's very enthusiastic about it because he believes in what he's got. It's a clean grade product. I mean, it passes California emissions. So after you talk to him, should you decide you want to order the DX1 driver, tell him you saw it on the Peter G Show. Please let him know I'm doing something. But he will give you 5 bottles for the price of 4 if you decide and tell him that you saw it on the Peter G Show. That's right. I know. 5 bottles for the price of 4. But just go to www.cleanstartproducts, give him a call, give them a call, speak to them. And if you want to order, believe me, you'll thank yourself because it just take care of your body and your body will take care of you. Same thing. Cars are expensive. You shouldn't have to keep replacing them for the amount of money they charge for them. This will definitely help its lifespan. Okay? That's it. Now we're going to be bringing Carol on, but first, you know what comes first. So I'll take a sip. Woo! Smooth. Much better. All right, you ready? I'm excited. I truly like this woman, and I'm getting to love this woman. And I know that once I get through with this interview, it's going to solidify the whole deal because I know what I've got here for you. I truly know what I've got, and you're in for a treat. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, from a different state other than California, live right here all over the world, but mostly the United States, but definitely all over the world. Right now, my favorite common sense lesbian, Carol. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Sorry, are you taken back by your intro?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. It's like, Jesus, what's wrong with this guy? That's the way I roll. Anyway, listen, I am really glad that we were able to put this together and have you on the show tonight because I truly believe that this experience of what I'm about, the things we're going to talk about and things like that are, as much as I'd like to think are very common knowledge, I think in a lot of areas are not so common knowledge, and it really needs to be addressed. And who better to talk about these things than you? So I'm glad you're here. Now,
I'm happy to be here.
Before we even get started, I want you, if you wouldn't mind, to give everybody a little brief synopsis. Introduce yourself. You can tell them whatever you want to tell them, who you are, where you're from, or, what you do, or how long you've been doing it, whatever you'd like. Just tell my audience and your fan club, just reintroduce yourself and introduce yourself to all the newbies.
Well, my name's Carol Hatch, obviously, and I go by rightsidelesbianart on social media, or rightsidelesbianart 2, TOO, depending on what platform you're on. Some people consider me an influencer or a truther. I just basically talk about the truth as I see it. I consider myself a critical thinker, And I also am a member of Gays Against Groomers, so I help try to save kids from ideology. And
Wow.
the rest of the time, I'm just an average, regular person with a full-time job.
Of course you are. But see, the thing that I get is that there's this stigma sometimes, you know. I mean, you don't dye your hair purple and you know, you're not out there, you know, screaming and yelling that. I mean, you're very open. I mean, let's face it. If I was to see you in a store, I'd pretty much know you're gay because it's just, you know what I mean? It's I don't know. You don't have to have gaydar to figure it out. I mean, the thing I liked about you the most is like, yeah, you're gay and and yeah, but you're not what really got me is you're pissed off at a lot of the gay community type stuff that has come about this past, I want to say decade, but really the past 4 or 5 years. It's just gotten stupid. And you're the practical one. It's like, yeah, I'm gay, but that's a small part of humanity. Right?
Yeah, and well, it's excuse me. It's not just a small part of humanity, it's a small part of who I am. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a lesbian, I'm an artist, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt, I'm a worker, I'm a person who likes to experience different things, I'm an off the gridder, I'm all kinds of things. It's not like my whole entire identity is based around my sexual preference. In fact, it's such a small, I don't even live like really a gay lifestyle. I just live like a person. I don't, it just, when people take that whole identity and that's their whole self, because I guess you just have nothing else, or you don't feel like there's any other part of you, or it's cool to be a victim, whatever it is, it just doesn't make any sense. And you know, for me growing up in the 70s and the 80s, and then, you know, coming to the 90s, it wasn't like cool and trendy to be gay. It was just, you know, we're just trying to fight to just be normal. And, you know, just the big thing for us was to be able to get married. And once that got accomplished, it was like, okay, cool, we're good. That's how I felt about it, you know. So this new thing where, you know, we're, you know, getting in the circus with the, you know, every single letter of the alphabet and sometimes twice, and now we have pluses and minuses and numbers, and who knows, maybe there's symbols on there now. I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I don't want to be in that circus. I'm not coming in riding an elephant, especially not the pink elephant. Thank you very much.
Tell me something, because, you know, you said you're a person, you're a sister, and, you know, it's like, and I'm the same way. It's like, you know, I'm a lover, I'm a kidder, I'm a lover. How's it go? I'm a joker, I'm a kidder, I'm a lover, I'm a sinner. You know, I play my music all night long. You know, either way. The thing is, you're saying you don't live a gay lifestyle. What the hell is living a gay lifestyle nowadays?
I guess you have to carry around the progress flag, because I think they've officially burnt up the gay flag. That doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, the new flag is so ridiculous. What even is it? They're trying to add everybody on there, and now they're actually trying to get it to where they can add people who are attracted to children on there, and they're, you know, and it's, I guess, I don't know what a gay lifestyle means. I mean, people tell me that all the time. I get that on my social media comments. Well, you're gay. You chose to be gay. It's your lifestyle. And I'm like, you don't even know me. You know, I don't even live like that. Like, I literally probably have about 3 gay friends, maybe, and they live far away. All of my friends are straight.
Yeah.
I hang out with straight people. I do. Other than the fact that I don't date men, everything I do is just normal. I'm not dyeing my hair in the rainbow and wearing rainbow, all this stuff, and going to protest. I don't do any of that.
Yeah. And this is, it's gotten really stupid. It's gotten very stupid. Hey, you got one of your fans. Speak those facts. That's my friend. Yes, Carol. There you go. So you go, girl.
That's my friend.
I
She's cool.
look. That's the whole thing. It's. I grew up. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in California,
Okay. All right.
not
I grew up.
probably very far from where you are.
Okay. I grew up in Pensacola, Florida. And when I was 16 or 17 years old, we were sneaking into this gay bar because we could. And the drinking age back then was 18, believe it or not. And then it went up to 19, then it went up to 21. But we snuck in. And we were just we didn't care. And again, I'm straight as a board, but we went in there because we could. And then you start learning things. You got really silly people, and you got people that are just gay and want to be gay and normal and this and that. But I started becoming friends with a lot of people, even the people that ran the bar as I got older, to where it progressed to where when I would be playing on Pensacola Beach, I'd stop in to one of the drag queens in the dressing room. I'd get a haircut because he was a hairdresser. You know what I mean? But back then it was, drag queens, it was make-believe. You did a job, you made money doing it, but you didn't, it was still very underground back in the early 80s, late 70s. I mean, it was a gay community, but it wasn't as pronounced as it is now. And in Pensacola on Memorial Day weekend, gays from all over the place come down there to party because it's a beach. It's a beautiful beach. I don't know if you've ever seen Pensacola Beach or been there, but it's a great place to be. And we know that Memorial Day weekend is like the beach belongs to the gays. It's just that simple, But
Yeah.
again, it was a different time. It was underground. It wasn't as pronounced. And now it's pretty much, to me, the norm. It's like, so what? You're gay. It's like, I like asparagus, whatever it is. It's just norm. But you came up in a time when it was, that the struggle, basically the struggle was real back then. And now the struggle is not really real. They're making it hard because they're demanding so much attention.
I think they don't even have a struggle. They're creating a struggle.
All right.
They want to have a struggle.
Yeah.
They don't. I had a young person comment on one of my most recent videos. Well, we're still oppressed. Well, no, you're not. You're not oppressed. No one in this country is oppressed, except maybe people who live like in the deep down ghettos and, still have the mindset and are unable to get out. Those people, yes, maybe. But if you're anywhere middle class or up and you're talking, about being oppressed on your brand new $1,500 iPhone, you are not oppressed. You're not. Nobody's coming to you and saying, oh, well, because you're gay, you can't do this or you can't do that. First of all, most of the young people out there that are claiming to be gay, or they've brought back the derogatory term queer because they think they've somehow reclaimed it, which no, they're not oppressed. They have no struggle. Nobody's going to them saying, we're not going to hire you because you're gay. We're not going to do this because you're gay. These people who are not getting hired is because they have tattoos all over their face. And when you represent a business, some businesses, unless it's a tattoo parlor, might not want someone representing them who has tattoos all over their face. But it sure as heck doesn't have anything to do with your sexual preference. Now, this whole thing where they've basically leached onto the gay movement, that to me is a problem, because if you had to leech onto our movement, it's because you don't have the legs to stand on for your own. If you don't have the legs to stand on for your own, it's probably because it's a big pile of not right.
I think, well, parenting, there's so many different, we're gonna get into all this. I want to start off because I just know how we're going to be 3 hours into this. I want to play a video for you, and then we'll take it from there. You have 1 million videos on Instagram and TikTok. You got tons of them. That's how I saw you 2 years ago. I don't know, quite a while ago. And it was really hard to choose because there's so many different topics I want to get into with you that are all very relevant. This is why you're on, and I call you my favorite common sense lesbian. And again, I say it jokingly and lovingly, but the thing is, you know, it'd be like me trying to talk about somebody black. It's like I need somebody black to talk about something black, so that way I don't catch hell about it. You know what I mean? So you're my transponder. It's like, you know. So let me play this video and then we'll take it from there. So watch this, and you have no idea what I'm even playing tonight. So this is part of our whatever interview. So here you go.
I just want to know why all of you, and I mean all of you, on the left, the right, the middle, why you keep trying to force gay people to be connected to trans people. Do you not understand the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity? Now, I'm not really a fan of the whole gender identity thing myself personally. But if you want to go with their definition, it has nothing to do with sexual orientation. There's a lot of us gay people who don't want to be connected to the trans community. Now, listen, we're getting tired. We fought all that time for gay rights just to have gay marriage. And now we have to fight to not be connected to a community that has nothing to do with us. Please, leave us out of it.
I just wanted to start there because you're absolutely right. It's a totally different world. But yet, I personally think your average person groups everybody together. You know, everything that's going on, every genre of the LBGTQ plus minus MOUSE, it's all grouped together, and you're catching the shit for it. I mean, it's kind of like just being cousins. You're all related.
Yeah, we're not related. And let me just dispel a couple of really old myths. Really, these are really old myths.
Yeah.
Not all lesbians play softball. I'm not even good at softball.
Damn.
And not all gay people know each other.
Damn.
So just letting you, and also not all lesbians really like people like Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie and all them. Not all of us are big fans, and we don't all listen to Melissa Etheridge. So just to dispel those few myths, because, you know, those are all things that people just assume about us. We all just, also one more myth I want to dispel before I answer that question.
Yeah.
Not all lesbians hate men. I do not hate men in any way, shape, or form. One of my very best friends in the entire world is a man. I love men to death. I just don't want that one thing from them. So,
well, okay.
with that going, as far as the trans community goes, I will let the audience know I really don't even believe that there is such a thing as a trans person. I just don't. I do not believe that you can change from one to the other. There's a lot of things that I could have taken. I could have taken men who said, you know what, we just want to enjoy dressing like women, and so we're just going to call ourselves drag queens or trans women or whatever. That was fine with me. If you just had the courage to say, you know what, I just want to dress like women, I would be good with that. Or people who call themselves actual trans people and know the difference. There's people out there like that, Buck Angel, and who are like, I am a person who was born this way and I am now this way. But they, you know, these people who like some big guy with a beard and a mustache and scraggly long gray hair throws a dress on and says, I'm a woman and you have to accept it. No, we don't. And I don't accept you as part of the LGBT community. If you want to have your own community, go have it. But don't leech yourselves onto us. And that's just as a lesbian. If you get me going as what they're inhibiting for us and invading us as just a woman, that's a whole nother can of worms right there. That's a whole nother situation.
The thing is, knowing if I was to say, I want to be a woman and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to dress as a woman and I'm going to go in public, knowing the hell you're going to catch. I mean, that is like the ultimate. You better be real, or you just love the attention, or you're looking for problems, because it's not easy. It wasn't easy being gay, just knowing that people know you're gay, knowing that somebody's thinking something. But to go trans and saying, I want to be a woman, Bruce Jenner, that threw me for a loop. Now he's out there, he's pretty cool about it, or she's pretty cool about it, or Caitlyn Jenner, however you want to call it. What's your call on that whole thing?
Caitlyn Jenner does have the peace of mind to know that it is not cool to put kids on puberty blockers and do surgeries on kids. He or she, I guess she will go with that, just out of respect, human respect.
Sure.
Doesn't really force it on anyone. I really, in my opinion, thought that when Caitlyn Jenner won the Woman of the Year award or whatever that was, she should have turned it down and said, I'm a trans woman. And I think had that happened, things would have gone a different way. Because again, if you want to say I'm a transgender person, man or woman, I was born this way, I grew up with these experiences, and now I'm presenting as this way, and this is my experience, things would have been so awesome. Like we could have said, you know what? That's a unique thing that this person who, back in the day, you had to go through like years of counseling and do all this kind of stuff. Apparently you can just go to the counselor for about 15 minutes now and do the, they just tell you you're trans and you can do whatever you want. But back in the day, when these people were getting these things, they had to go through a lot of counseling. So at that point, maybe you could be like, okay, well, it's a unique thing, yada, yada, yada. But if you're taking the trans thing and it's trendy and it's cool and I need attention and I'm 22 and I have no values or character or morals and I need to be like my friends, and so I'm just going to start cutting off my body parts and you better accept it, otherwise I'm going to cry and I'm just going to sit on the street corner screaming my head off for no reason, looking like a toddler. That's not the same thing as what people like, the original, I think the very first person to have this done was Christine Jorgensen. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't, I just know that as big of a public figure as Bruce Jenner was, it took a lot of balls to do what he did to become a woman and say, so I would think you must be pretty serious about it. I mean, it's weird that it took that long in his life to figure it out. I don't know. That to me, it's more than just a publicity stunt, and I think that she's been pretty cool about playing the role. It's like, okay, I'm this, but that's that, you know what I mean? And not putting up with a lot of the bullshit. I didn't know that she won Woman of the Year award. I don't keep up, but
something like that. Yeah. I mean, the thing of it is that, well, I mean, if you want to get into that, I mean, I will go all the way over to conspiracy theories, but the thing of it is that the whole trans thing with the kids and everything like that, I mean, generations will do what they do. And sadly, very sadly, I would almost rather see these kids get addicted, like be potheads or something, than be trans people, because they have no idea the amount of damage they're doing to their body is insane.
Right.
But the thing of it is, they're in their 20s. They're going to do what the generations do. Now, if you're going to run over there and do that, fine. I'm not going for it as a Gen Xer. And I would be embarrassed for any Gen Xer that actually supports that kind of thing. give back your honorary Gen X badge if you support trans, because you know better. But, you know, they're adults. But the thing that bugs me is they're doing this to kids that are 13, 14, 15 years old. There's really mentally ill mothers out there that are saying their kids are non-binary and identify as this, and, you know, dressing their little boys up as girls. These people are sick. They need reopen the asylums, reopen them all. Why did we close them? This is a huge issue. You know, it's a difference between adults making huge mistakes that they have to face the consequences for, and adults making huge mistakes for children that they're going to have to pay consequences for. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So
I do. I just think there was a guy. He's been on national news. His wife was a pediatrician in Arizona, and he had two children, two twin boys. And the wife, who's the you know what I'm talking about, right? You must.
Yep.
She's been dressing the child, one of them, as a girl, and this guy's fighting two of them.
I think
it's, you know, and the kid doesn't know that, you know, you're a child. You have no friggin' idea what the hell you're doing. That is sinful.
And like, yeah, and they're like, well, the thing of it, the mother's so much, well, he wants to. No, what a child wants is to do whatever they can do to make mom happy. So if mom's in little boy's ear saying, oh, you're a girl, you're so cute, oh, here, wear a pink dress, that's what the little boy's going to do. They don't make a decision. And, you know, the thing of it is, I'm not just talking out of the side of my neck like people think I am. I have an Associate of Arts degree, magna cum laude. I have a bachelor's degree in computer information systems, which is not related to this, summa cum laude. And I'm like 2 residencies and a practicum away from my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So I've taken all those classes. I've studied development. And let me tell you, this was not that long ago. There was nothing about gender ideology in any of my classes. So this is recent. They just shoved this in there. And all these kids just bit at it because you have all of these awkward, socially awkward kids who don't have skills. They don't have parents who are paying attention to them. They were raised, every time they cried, their parent gave them a cell phone or a tablet or set them in front of the TV or the computer. And they sat there and they played video games. They have no way of really interacting with each other. And then COVID skyrocketed it because it put everybody on the computer and said, oh, you guys can't talk to each other. You can't touch each other. You can't go near each other because you might get each other sick, which was a big pile of garbage because I'll go whoever I want around whoever I want. If I get sick, that's my damn choice.
Yeah.
As long as the other person is in agreement. But that just put the whole plan into action. Not only are we going to see how far we can push you, how much we can keep you away from each other, but guess what? We're going to take your kids. And that's exactly what they did. They took the kids.
They're breaking up the families.
They took the kids.
Yeah.
From families.
It's
because
sinful.
they stuck them on a computer.
It's sinful. As a joke, this is how, this is probably a couple of years ago. I played one of your videos on because I was just on one of those moods about there was something going on, and so it kind of reverted to the LGBTQ plus MOUSE and all that kind of stuff, and I ended up using one of your short clips as an example as to where it should be, as to where it actually is. And then I came up with the solution. I thought as a joke, I said, I think I understand what happened, the transgender explanation. And it just reminded me of this. This is a very, very short clip, but I think, Carol, this may help you to understand what the hell happened with how the transgender thing goes. I'm just trying to help you. So check this out real quick.
Hi, everybody. Caitlyn Jenner here.
Want me to play it again? Did you get it? No.
Yeah.
Here, I'll play. Just one more time for those who may be a little bit slower. So, you're a boy, you're out there playing, and shit happens, and all of a sudden,
Hi, everybody. Caitlyn Jenner here.
Well, the thing of it is, I mean, that's actually a really perfect clip because one of the main people, and I won't say his name on here because I don't want to publicize him, but one of
Yeah.
the main doctors, part of what started this whole thing was that he found a pair of twin boys and one of them had had a botched circumcision. And as an experiment, he took that boy and had that boy raised as a female. You can look these guys up. And one of them, the other twin, was raised as a normal boy. Well, what happened is in the teen years, the boy who was raised as a girl became quote unquote trans and kept saying, I'm a boy, I'm a boy, I'm a boy, because you know why? Because he was a boy.
Yeah.
And you can't just raise a boy as a girl because it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And in the end, he ended up going back trying to be a girl and getting all these surgeries. And at the end, both of those young men committed suicide. Both the twins.
I don't
And
have
this
it.
is the guy that all of these quote unquote trans activists and kids that want to be trans, this is the guy who they quote. And that doctor died never admitting that he was wrong because he was so prideful. So that clip is actually really apropos for exactly what the trans movement, that's one of the false narratives that they have in transgender. The other one is that trans people were involved in Stonewall, which is wrong. That's not true. Stonewall was mainly started by lesbians. And I think there was one drag queen that showed up at like 2:00 the next day in the morning or something. And then there's another one that they say is a trans woman that was actually a lesbian. It's false so all of this trans activists are working off of complete and utter lies, not surprising. But when you're a kid, again, you're going to find any excuse to do what you want to do, no matter how many people tell you it's a bad idea. You're going to do it if you're one of those kids. And these kids that are doing it would be the goth kids or the odd kids, whatever you want to call it, the ones that are socially awkward. Well, I'm a fat kid, so now I'm a trans activist.
Trans activist is one thing, but actually saying I'm going to be gay, or it's got to come from within. Because again, growing up, I was around a lot of that, but I knew and still do, and I'm, friends, I can hang out till the sun comes up, but I'm straight as a board because internally those thoughts, urges, feelings, whatever, are not there. I can't make something happen. Now I met I knew people who are dumb as shit. They get loaded and they go, oh, what the hell? You're going to try anything. I'll try anything once. I'm not that guy. I'm not gay. I'm straight. But I did understand from hanging out from certain people, and they said, because I don't believe that you just choose to be gay. I don't believe you just woke up and said, I want to be gay today. And this guy that I knew, he worked at this bar and he was a sweetheart of a guy. And he says, what happens if you came out in the shape of a boy, but internally, genetically, you probably should have been a girl. I mean, science or biology, whatever, and I thought it never left my head. I said, I truly believe that's how it works because, I don't think anybody chooses to go through all the hell that you've had to go through just to be, a decent human being with a different sexual preference.
Well, being gay was extremely hard for me. I grew up in a house with 4 other very feminine, very straight girls. So And then one of them left, but there were still 3 girls there, you know? And so I knew I was different. Um, you know, I heard the term dyke at a very young age, and they told me what it was. And, you know, I had started, you know, when you're in elementary school, first grade, second grade, the boys start chasing the girls, and the girls are chasing the boys, you know, not really knowing, but that's, you know, the beginning of it.
Instinct. Right.
I was chasing the boys that were chasing the girls so that I could beat up the boys so that I could chase the girls. That's what I did, you know, and I played handball with the boys. I played basketball with the boys. It was never a thing for me to want to play with the girls. I had friends that were girls, but we didn't play with Barbies and do all that junk. It just was never a thing for me. And I didn't know at that point that, you know, that meant I was gay. That's just who I was, how I was. And I just did what I did. And in that way, I was, you know, very naive. Thankfully, nobody when I was in elementary school was like, oh, your gender identity. Oh, your sexuality. Oh, here's a
Yeah.
book with pornographic material in it.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Thank God that never
Yeah.
happened. Because
Yeah.
what that does is it takes away the exploration of the person. I had to go through a lot figuring out that I was gay. It was hard when I was, you know, in junior high school. You know, I got a crush on somebody that was a serious crush. And I realized I'm not the same as everyone. And I remember that moment. I remember the moment that I realized I was gay. I remember that sinking feeling in my stomach, on my whole body reacted. And I wanted to cry. I knew I was different than everyone else. It was a feeling that I'll never forget. And throughout the years, you know, I had friends, you know, I talking to some friends, and some people said, "Oh, it's just a phase. You'll get over it, whatever." And I went through life, and you know, I got into high school, and some people were very accepting of it, and you know, there were other times we had a smoking section at my school, so you know, I would walk past the smoking section, people would call me names, you know, and then I had other, you know, I went through all that, and those things having people, I know this is going to sound strange, but having people call you names, having people shame you, having people uh, challenge your self confidence, that built my character. That made me a stronger, more self confident woman. I didn't know it at the time, but I learned how to let things roll off my back. Now, I was a really big drama queen up until not that long ago, to be honest. But all of those learning experiences as a lesbian or as a woman, every single experience I had was important. So that's why I get upset when now they're inserting all that in school. You're taking things away from kids and you don't even realize you're doing it. But the thing of it is that as I got older, you know, I prayed and prayed and prayed to God, and I am a believer in God. I prayed, please take this away. I went to church. I love Jesus. I still love Jesus to this day. I wanted it to go away. No one wanted it to go away more than I did. No one. I was let go from jobs. I have had many men tell me I just need the right man that would fix me. I've had physical assaults happen to me. I don't want to say the words on YouTube. A lot of things have happened to me. I was kicked from the Marine Corps, all of that stuff. Every single thing that I went through challenged me to say, this was not a choice for me. And if it's a choice for you, you're probably not gay. Because most of the people that I know who are really, really gay aren't super excited about it. and we're not wearing it on our sleeves. You know, we all went through something. Now, there might be some out there now. Like the other day, I came out at work and there was some lady my age or a little older and had the big rainbow shirt on and this, that, and the other thing. And she looked at me and I looked at her and I kept walking because you're wearing a rainbow shirt. We're not going to be friends.
Oh
But
boy.
the thing is that everything, every experience, every person who called me a name, every year that I spent trying to grow my hair out, wear dresses, and carry a purse and date men, and I did that several times, trying as hard as I could to be a straight lady. I tried so hard. And yes, there are pictures, so I do have receipts. I tried so hard. But the bottom line is, I didn't choose this. I'm not trying to be a rebel. I just wanted to live a normal life. I wanted to get married and have a wife and kids. Now I'm 53. That didn't pan out for me. I've been single almost my entire life.
It's not over.
Um,
It's not over.
It's not over, but whatever.
It's not Carol, I'm barely scratching the surface with you right now. I got a million things I want to get into, and this is because I know how deep it is. Listen, I want to just tell you, that's why the world right now needs somebody like you in a counselor position, a therapist position, because the ones that are in the seats right now, they've lost their minds. I don't know where they got their education or their sensibilities from, but they need their asses kicked because they're the ones screwing up everybody right now. And this is why, again, you've caught my attention because they've lost all sense of accountability and common sense. And so it just makes me nuts.
Well, there are some good therapists out there. I follow one, I believe it's the Truthful Therapist on Instagram.
I take that back. There are some, but
yeah,
there's a lot of shit going on.
It's really the problem with therapists really isn't therapists. It's the American Counseling Association that are not policing their therapists because money. The trans community is money.
Yeah, government's
and so
paying
the American Counseling Society or association is supporting all of these therapists that are having a 45-minute meeting with a 13-year-old and telling them, well, you're trans and go get some puberty blockers, which from what I understand, listening to detransitioners, destroy your body.
Sure.
And can make you infertile and all kinds of stuff. So that's one thing that I sometimes address in my videos. We need to hold the American Counseling Association responsible for their part in promoting the trans movement, which in many cases I consider crimes against humanity.
No doubt.
So
I don't think there's anything wrong with saying it's okay to be gay if you're gay. But there's a lot, kids are so, impressionable. I mean, they're just sponges and you can easily change their mind. I mean, I look about things I did when I was in my 20s, nothing bad, but I mean, you look back at it now and, it's a whole different look at everything. Go, God, if I knew now what the old adage, if I knew now what I, would have known, if I knew now what I've known then, the whole thing. But let me ask you something. And then I want to play another video. But this has always been on my mind. I have a CVS drugstore near where I live. There's a girl there that works there. She's pretty butch. There's no doubt when you walk up, again, she's pretty, she's saying, I am gay. It's just like if I'm a basketball player, I dress to play basketball. It's just the way it is. So no big deal. But I go in there quite a bit. And I was in there with a friend not too long ago, but every time I'm around this person, I'm always lighthearted, cracking jokes or this and that. But she always seems so uptight or so, I don't want to use the word angry, but my friend said, that dude's angry. You know, or that, and why do you think so many like butch women are like have that pissed off attitude, or are they overcompensating? I mean, it's not just me. I've seen this through life. What's going on? Not everybody's you.
Well, the problem with, I think there's a big problem. She's probably, a liberal, because unfortunately, most gay people are liberals.
Yeah.
There's a huge onslaught of bullshit, excuse my language, that we're now attacking straight people. She probably is jealous of straight men because she can't be one, in the sense that, it's harder for us as women to be with, men, or, she could have personal problems too. Maybe her dad was a jerk. Maybe her girlfriend left her for a man. There's so many options
Yeah.
of why, but I can tell you this, most butch lesbians don't hang out with each other. We all don't like each other. There's a lot of jealousy in butch lesbians. It's
Yeah.
really annoying. They're like, every time you hang out with a butch lesbian, they're, oh, you're stealing my woman. I don't want your damn woman. Okay. You can
Yeah.
keep her, feed her some bonbons, put her on the couch. I don't care what you do. I'm not that person, but there's a lot of jealousy and there's a lot of intermingling in the lesbian community, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I guess
Everybody
maybe
slept
because,
with everybody.
it is a lesser population. There's not as many of a population because everybody lately. I did this a couple of years ago, back when I had featured one of your videos. I was showing the percentage of trans people in the United States, the percentage of gays. It's a lot less than the way they scream. They scream so loud, like it's 50%. It's in the minute single digits below, but they scream so loud. And I was just making this as conversation, but again, she's really uptight, and I'm a live and let live kind of person. So I don't care what you do, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But I can never get this woman to lighten up. You know what I mean? Like, if I could get her to smile, it will be a miracle, and I'm pretty good at that. But she just never breaks character, so to speak.
She's definitely liberal, because I used to be a liberal, and I was always pissed off all the time like that.
Wow.
All the time.
Sorry.
Because they just feed you. Everybody hates you. Everybody hates you. You're just so picked on. That's all they tell you all the time. Go to a march. And then you go to the march and everybody's, oh, they all hate us, the Christian nationalists and the blah, blah, blah. And everybody, and it's all bullshit.
Welcome back.
It's true.
Welcome back. Look, I want to play a video because I gotta keep, again, I know I'm putting us in. Hope you're not in a hurry to get out of here, because I want to. Good, thank you. I want to play a video and then you explain it to me and we'll talk about it. But here, check this out.
Straight people are getting too comfortable. I said what I said. Some things are not.
You said what you said. Well, let me say what I'm about to say to you. I'm one of the people who got RPED'd, SA'd, kicked out of jobs, kicked out of the military, and treated like crap, trying to fight for my rights as a lesbian woman so that I could live a quiet lifestyle and get married and fit in, not to be sucked into the circus land with the clowns. So, straight is normal. That's how the world's supposed to live. And they can be as comfortable as they want, because those two, male and female, are what propagates this species. So you know what? No one's afraid of offending you. Certainly not me. And you know what? I hope this offends you personally. Let me give you a tip. See how easy that was?
Well, there's a plethora of information in there. First of all, she went on in her video, whoever she is, the original person, went in there to go on to say that people should go back to being deathly afraid of offending people, which nobody ever was deathly afraid of offending people. I mean, maybe there's some people out there who are so weak and lacking of character that they're afraid to offend people. But I'll tell you what, it's not me or any of my friends, because we'll go out of our way to offend you. So that in and of itself. And then I had somebody comment, well, she's making fun of straight people. Why are you saying something? Because she's making fun of straight people. That's why I'm saying something. Because we've come, sadly, to a point in this world where I really have to call myself a straight ally now. Not that straight people, and I hate the word ally, because the way they use it is like, oh, straight people can't defend themselves. Because they're always saying, well, I'm an LGBT ally. Nobody asked you to protect us. Go away with that ally stuff.
Wait.
When I use the word ally, I mean a partner. I mean it in the way that it's meant to be, like a partner, a co-conspirator. Like, stop reeling. First of all, stop using the term cis. It's ridiculous. It has no purpose. It's dumb. Second of all, stop picking on straight people. Without straight people, you literally would not be here.
I don't think
straight people would not exist. And
I don't think straight people
eating all that food.
Do you really think straight people give a shit?
Some do. Some actually do. If you literally, like, one of the things that I do when I'm bored is I'll get on a TikTok lives, and you can scroll through the lives.
Yeah.
And if you have children,
yeah,
and you have never scrolled through a TikTok live and your kid's on TikTok, I strongly suggest you make a burner account on TikTok or get on your kid's account and start scrolling through the lives, because you might be shocked at what you see. We have Satanists on there. We have people promoting violence. There are, tons of people promoting you should get your trans kids exist. There's so much stuff on there that you really should be filtering it from your kids. But yes, you can sit and watch the debates, because everybody likes to debate, and see how upset some straight people get. They do get upset. Not all of them. The normal everyday person who's not on social media could probably care less. But this subgroup, there's a subgroup of people who are on social media and they do care. So that was part of the video, was, saying, stop picking on straight people. Without them, you wouldn't be here. What are you even saying? The second part was about the being offended. And again, that goes back to my previous conversation. I think we should bring back shaming, because right now we have a huge problem in society of laziness, of overweight people. And I know this because I am also overweight and lazy. Lack of character. There's no character being built. Character is so important to your future. If you do not have character, you will just be a fat blob with a beard and scraggly gray hair, wearing a dress, claiming to be trans, because you don't have anything else, because you have no character. And somewhere along the way, we've lost character. Where did it go? It went out the window with the morals and the values and the virtues. It's all gone. And that's exactly what they wanted. Fortunately, the generation below, like the 16, 17-year-olds and below that, are not buying into any of this BS. So that's hope. There's hope.
Let me ask you this. What did she mean by white people are too comfortable? I didn't really understand that.
She said straight people are too comfortable.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Straight people, whatever. It's all, yeah, sorry, my bad.
I think she means that you aren't being afraid of the younger gay generation. And quite frankly, she doesn't even look gay. She's probably just pretending like she's gay because it's cool. She's overweight. It's probably social awkward.
She looked at, but why would we be afraid?
They want you to be afraid to offend them.
Oh.
That's what those people want. That cult. And that's exactly what it is. It's a cult.
Yeah.
They want you to be afraid to offend them. so that they can live their life with just doing whatever they want, saying whatever they want, stealing whatever they want, tearing down statues, whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah.
And you can't say anything to them because you might hurt their feelings. That's what they want. They want you to be afraid to offend them.
We've gotten into a
That's what she's
spoiled
talking
brat. Everybody, they've really turned into more than anything. To me, it's like a bunch of spoiled brats shouting out loud to be recognized. Like, okay, so coming up in June, this month is almost over. It's half a month now. Right now, they want you to celebrate a whole month of your gayness. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Real gay people don't do pride.
Yeah.
Only idiots do pride.
See, I knew.
We do anti-pride.
Yeah. Wow.
I will be celebrating anti-pride.
Yeah.
In the month of June. June is now officially anti-pride month. All straight people are welcome to join, no matter what your religion is.
Yeah.
You may join anti-pride month. During that month, we put up the American flag.
Yeah.
Not the progress flag of death.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotten way out of hand. They've ruined it. They're making everybody, instead of acceptance, they're shoving it down and demanding so much of that with there's no like foundation anymore. They've lost the whole grip on everything. It's just getting crazier and crazier. And the Dodgers had a whole bunch of problems last year. There was this gay pride day at and it's like, you're taking your kids, and there was these dressed up nuns. There's these people from West Hollywood, and like, okay, you want to go do your thing, great. But I don't know. They're just shoving things down people's throats that, like, is it really necessary? I mean, what are you gaining from this? I think there's a lot more loss than it is if they had just approached this a little bit more intelligently.
Well, again, they don't have anything. They don't have skills. They don't have really personalities or character or hobbies.
Yeah.
It's just these random people who were just these lost souls wandering around the planet, and they all found their way in the pond of gay people. And because straight people, a lot of straight people, not all, don't really understand that gay has nothing to do with all these other things that aren't even, like, non-binary is not even real.
I don't.
Everybody's binary.
Yeah.
Everybody's either one or the other. You're not non-binary. You're not asexual. You're none of those things.
Pansexual. What the hell?
There's
when I
no
learned
zim, zing, zing, zooza. There's none of that. They're just literally so lost, so devoid of understanding how to interact with people and how to interact with life. They've been taught no character.
Yeah.
I don't know where their parents are. Maybe some of the parents tried and the kids were just beyond hell. I don't know.
Bullshit.
But they're, it's funny that all these people call themselves progressive, because really what they are is regressives.
Regressive, yeah, absolutely.
Because they've brought all the hate. Not only did they bring the hate back on themselves, but they brought it all back on us. And yes, we had it where people tolerated us. You're not going to get acceptance. Nobody really gets acceptance. I mean, unless you're talking about acceptance, the fact that people go, okay, there's gay people out there, then you accept that. And that's kind of where it was. Or you tolerate, but there's always going to be people who don't like gay people. There's all kinds of religions that don't like gay people. Islam hates gay people. They hate gay people.
What do you mean? There's There's gays for Palestinians. What are you talking about?
Idiots.
I have no clue.
Actually, the most accepting religion for gay people is Judaism.
Really?
Yeah, the most accepting people I've ever met of homosexuality have been Jewish people. So it's they've brought the hate back on us, and it's like, really, that was buried. We were good, and now you've regressed us back like 50 years. It's like they have a birthday. You have a birthday party, and you have this really nice cake, and you set it on the table. And then you let all the bratty kids loose. And when you come into the room, the cake is gone. And it's not because they ate it, it's because they threw it all over the floor and all over themselves. That's exactly what happened to gay people. We had the cake, it was nice, it was sitting in the middle of the room, and then all these little pink and purple haired little brats came running into the room, threw the cake all over the place, put it all over themselves, and ruined everything we had. And people ask me why I don't identify with that alphabet mafia. That's why. I'm not a part of it. I'm just a woman who loves women, and that's it. I'm a
And they want more
lesbian
cake.
of the real sense.
They want more cake too on top of it. They destroy it and then demand more cake, bigger, better, for nothing, just give it to us. Just give it to us. We want it all. I want to ask you a question that's been, you mentioned that you were in the military. I didn't know that. And you just said, I was going to ask you what branch you were in. The Marines?
When I was 19, I was disillusioned with junior college at the time. I was young. I get bored easily. So I know a lot of different stuff, so I learn a lot of different stuff. This is Sunkiss for anybody who doesn't know. He's making his appearance.
There you go. Hey.
And so at that time I was disillusioned. I just didn't have, like a lot of 18, 19-year-olds, I didn't really have a clear-cut picture in life. So I decided to join the military, and I did that. And I was in boot camp, and I got injured. And a long story short, what happened was I got injured. They put me on bed rest. And then when I came back, they told me that, and I wasn't even really that injured, but they had me like on codeine. It was just weird. I got hit in the face with a grenade launcher. So at any rate, they told me they were going to recycle me. And I was only had like 3 weeks left of boot camp, 2 or 3 weeks. And they were going to start me at the very beginning and make me do the whole thing over. And I had a panic attack. So I ended up going through all these things, and I ended up going to the Navy psychologist, because the Marines are a division of the Navy.
Right.
And the guy asked me if I was, all this stuff, and he came up that I was gay, because I was trusting him, because he's, psychologist. Not supposed to tell him. And he told, so they ended up pulling me from my platoon that day and putting me in this, waiting area for a couple weeks, and then sending me home. And during that time, I had to go through tons of interviews, like all my drill instructor, and just all the way up this whole ladder, and every single one of them. Oh, you're, whatever. All the way up until that point, they were going to discharge me for what they called back then borderline personality disorder, which I know now was panic attack disorder. Basically, they said they thought I was too timid to make it through the rest of the training, which really none of that was true. I just had a panic attack because I didn't want to do all the training again from the very beginning, but we know that now, but we didn't know that in 1989 or 90, at least the Navy didn't know it. And the very last guy that interviewed me changed the discharge on my paperwork to fraudulent enlistment, pre-service homosexuality. And they didn't have to pay me for that. So they sent me home. They didn't pay me. And that's what my DD-214 says. So I came back, I think it was a few years ago. I went back to them. I got an attorney, and I said, I want you to fix because they've changed a lot of laws since then. I said, listen, I want them to fix my DD-214, and I want them to pay me for my time in boot camp. That's all I wanted. Just my time in boot camp. I wasn't asking for, my GI Bill or any of that stuff.
Right.
And they supposedly, the judgment came back, they were going to change my DD-214, but they didn't still want to pay me. And then now I'm working with somebody else and they've lost my paperwork completely. It's disappeared. So I'm still fighting with the Marine Corps from 1990. It's now, what, 34 years ago, or it's 24 years, I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting with them. So this is like an ongoing thing. But yes, and as far as I'm concerned, I did take the oath to protect this country, and I never
Yeah.
untook that oath. So if anything happens in this country, as a civilian, I will do my duty and fight for this country.
I'm just surprised because, again, I grew up in Pensacola, Florida, mainly, and it's a Navy town, big Navy town. Blue Angels are based out of there. So I've been around a lot of. I used to play on the Navy base as a musician, in both enlisted and the officers' clubs and things like that when I was really young. And it seemed like most if you were a girl and you were a dyke or something like that, you enlisted into the Navy. I mean, it was just the way it was. But you went into the Marines.
Yeah, I wanted to fight. I didn't want to go on a boat.
Well, they're not all on boats, but yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just I just had to ask.
I wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to be a soldier. And
no, I got you. Just
it
had to ask.
Turns out I grew up to be a different kind of soldier, I guess, huh?
There's a reason for everything as far as I'm concerned. It all kind of comes together. All right, look, I want to play another video. This is because these are all important topics, but I want to talk about the kids. Because the kids are important, but just check this video out real quick and then we'll talk about it.
So this kid was kicked out of school for excessive violence, had a history of violence, and was showing male genitalia in the girls' restroom while claiming to be trans. Good job, Riverside, for kicking him out. I'm going to address two issues here. First of all, earth to parents. Again, we don't just let our kids do whatever they want because we don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. That's not parenting. And if you think it is, then I would strongly suggest parenting classes where you can learn that kids actually do need discipline and structure and barriers. Second, American Counseling Association, you have failed these kids. There should be standards, tests, years of counseling to determine for sure that a person has gender dysphoria and cannot live any other way except for as transition.
There's a lot of problems like this going on all over the place, whether it's going into Planet Fitness as adults, to schools, and there are all these issues. And some of these schools, they're so scared to do anything.
Well, I really think that, first of all, if you're a member of Planet Fitness, you should immediately cancel your membership.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm not going to lie.
The schools are the problem over here.
Yeah. Here's the thing. A lot of the states now are passing laws that transgender kids cannot go into the other, you can't say I'm a transgender woman and go into the bathroom. And it's not just happening in schools. It's happening in prisons, too. Women are getting raped all over the place in prison by these transgender. So what we have is we have a number of people claiming to be transgender. You have the very small percentage of people who actually really have gender dysphoria so badly that the only way to make them feel better is to do the transgender thing. That's an extremely small percentage, something like 0.005% or 2% or so. It's very small. Then you have the kids who just want to fit in. So they're doing that. And then you have the poor children that are basically victims of trans housing by proxy. Then you have the predators who are men who figured out how they could get to women and children. And those people are the ones that are doing the really naughty stuff. Those are the predators, using the whole trans movement as a way to get to children. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
But you got the government backing them up here. Tony's just saying, but Biden passed that if you don't let trans into the bathroom, you'll not get federal funding. I mean, it's all about the money again and all this bullshit. What do you think?
Right, but here's the thing. Why not go without the federal funding?
They're
What would
greedy.
happen? What would happen if we all just stopped taking money and orders from the government? As far as like the things that are run by the state should stay in the state. So why do you need federal funding? And first of all, why is your kid even in public school right now? It's so scary there.
I know, but for a lot of people, it's easier said than done for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people would probably prefer to pull their kids out, but life is tough in a lot of areas, and that's all they've got.
Well, the thing of it is that there have been whole areas where you have one person or two people that are trustworthy that are now doing homeschooling. You know, like they homeschool their own kids, and you can have your kids there and probably give them a little bit of money. I mean, what we need to do is completely reorganize and gut the educational system.
Yeah, but we're fighting government here. I mean, they are greedy. They have ruined everything. They're taking all this money. Lord knows where the money is gone, and they've just done nothing but destroyed the education system. How do you fight them? I mean, I know how to. You and I don't care about the federal money, but the ones who are taking the federal money are taking it, and they're living the good life. They don't care.
Well, here's the thing. If you're talking about federal money, you're not really getting it from the government. You're getting it from the Federal Reserve. The money that you're taking is already coming out of our pockets.
Yeah.
So the government is just a middleman. And you have people, if you go look at the amount of money that especially Democrats, but Republicans too, look at Nancy Pelosi. She's worth how much now?
Yeah.
You know where the money went.
Oh yeah. Plus she knows all the good stock tips too.
Well, the stock market's basically run by the Federal Reserve Bank if you really, really boil it down.
Yeah.
That's how they created the Great Depression, right? So,
well, I've just yet to see people who make under 200 grand a year all become multimillionaires in Congress and in the Senate. You know, it just really fascinates me.
Well, they're not working for us. That's for darn sure, because I'll tell you right now, Congress has not passed one thing in the last 20 years that I've agreed to.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, like I said, there's going to come to a point where enough is enough, or we're going to go down in flames. It's just that simple.
It's probably going to be both.
A little bit of both. Yeah, you can't really. I guess you have to hit rock bottom before. Unfortunately, we got too complacent, and everything was just good, and then now everything's gone to shit. I want to play you another. This video is a little bit more for my entertainment value, but I am in total agreement for you with this, and I just want to. I just want to talk about it briefly real quick, just for a little chuckle. How's that? So check this out.
Someone please tell me this is true. They have finally canceled this show. So tired of this show. Why has it been on this long? Why? It's like 4 or 5 years past its time. Please tell me it's gone. Please.
Now, that was I've seen a bunch of those, and unfortunately, it's not true. That show is living on. And you say 4 or 5 years, it should have been gone 20 years ago. I loathe that show. But there are still some people and close people that I know that I love very much that think I'm ridiculous. They love that show.
I didn't even know anybody watched that show. I'm 100% certain that there's no actual audience. I think they're just using canned laughter with 5 annoying women in there, or 4, or whoever, however many there are this week.
No, no, they're there. There's people there. They're in New York.
Are there really?
Oh yeah, you can find a crowd of 100 people a day. There's plenty of people still on this planet, especially in New York, that are willing to fill. Look, they do it for Stephen Colbert. He does, who bashes. It's not become an entertainment show like Johnny Carson. Those days are over. It's nothing but bashing, and serious bashing. It's not like the Gutfeld show where they're making fun of everything through truth, but they even make fun of themselves. This is nothing but bashing. And these yentas, I swear, one of my closest people on this for this show, my executive common sense producer, his wife, when I made fun of this show before, and she says, that's a really good show. I don't see why you don't like that show. And and I love her to death.
Show.
It's on one of the last remaining main networks. All those daytime television shows absolutely blow, but yet they got nothing to fill them with. And that's what, and they're still there. I don't get it. And they're making a gazillion dollars being those people.
Yeah, I just can't. First of all, how the hell did Whoopi Goldberg's opinion become anything at all ever? Didn't she start out as a comedian? And now she's like the most angry, nasty person on the planet next to Joy Behar. And I don't think I have to make the joke to you about their names and how exactly opposite their personalities are to their names, because Whoopi is more like F you and Joy is more like despair. So God, I can't stand those people.
There's so many lawsuits going on with them, that because of their opinions. It's like The View. Yes, it's their point of view, but there's nothing relevant anymore. They are part of the problem. But again, you have that percentage of people that are in total agreement, and we're the problem.
Well, non-playable characters don't really count as people.
Well, I just had to play that because I've talked about this in the past, and I caught hell in a loving kind of way. Again, I pray that our indifferences on certain opinions on things doesn't ruin our relationship, because, okay, I can't agree with you on everything, but this is the way I feel, and I just think the show sucks. It's real simple, I think it sucks big time, but yet, how many decades have they been on? They've been on over 20 years, right?
Well, they're I would put them in the same place as Rachel Maddow. They're just a propaganda show. There's just a bunch of devil sock puppets, and they're just the sock puppet. They just blah 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 blah, whatever people tell them to say. There's nothing in them.
Yeah, well, you got me on that one too, because I just got through ranting on this dude. I don't know how this dude sleeps at night. The shit that comes out of his mouth is just I'm sick of it. Money, look what money has done to people.
Imagine Rachel Maddow going all the way through that trouble to get, I believe she has a doctorate or a PhD, or him, whatever it is, and all you end up doing is just being the devil's empty sock puppet, just saying whatever they tell you to say, blah blah blah. The Democrats pay me to say what they want me to say, blah blah. What a waste of a life.
But the fact that, like, as a human being you have a conscience and you can resort to that. I mean, again, this little bitch too. This one is, this one I think is even worse because he screams, louder than she does. I mean, but they both, and there's many more, but I just can't help it because they have to get up every day and spew this stuff, knowing in their soul that they're lying through their teeth, but yet they just collect the big paycheck. And you got people who actually think that now I'm going to catch hell. Like, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. And those people are as real, and they speak the truth. How do you, what do you do? But that's what I'm going to talk about next week with Matt Kim. But it's the truth.
They don't have souls. They sold them a long time ago.
I don't get it, because I could never. There's times when I'm playing middle of the road, but there's no way. Like, I've been asked many times, if you made the right amount of money, would you? And the answer is no. I don't think life is too short to be. I could never live with I'm one of those kind of people. I don't have a fake smile. I'm either smiling or I'm not. And those people are going to go to hell and pay for it someday. I just don't get it. Anyway, that's just my opinion. What the hell do I know? I just wanted to ask you about The View.
I hate that show.
Yeah. Look, I really wanted to talk to you about, hang on a second. I really wanted to talk to you about your belief in alien people, but that's a whole nother show right now, because it's going to get, I truly believe we cannot be the only people that live on this planet. I mean, that are in this universe and things like that. I've heard you go into deep detail. I think you're probably pretty knowledgeable of what may be the truth or not, but your speculation or whatever, due to I've looked into these things. But I just want to touch I can't help it. I can't let you go without asking you this. What are your beliefs on the universe and what's going on? And are there other species, and are they here? What's the deal?
First of all, I'll just quote Carl Sagan: if there aren't others out there, it's certainly a great waste of space. I understand that some people believe the earth is flat and there's no space. I don't believe any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I do believe there are aliens. I do believe that there are probably a number of different types of aliens living right in front of our faces. There are a lot of conspiracy theories in regards to, some people think that we were seeded as a slave race by aliens, and some people think, whatever. I don't know about that stuff, but here's what I believe about the universe. I believe the universe was created by one all-knowing light. I believe that darkness came about and was already there, and that those two have to exist in some kind of a balance. Because we know that without darkness, there is no light. I know that light always beats the darkness, and the way I know that is because when I walk into a dark room with nothing more than a cigarette lighter, and I light that very tiny flame, it lights up like feet around me. So I know that light is more stronger than darkness. So what I believe is that there are aliens here. They are not good. They have infiltrated probably some of our government. They're probably in Hollywood. They're there. I also believe that there are good aliens here. I also believe that there is a whole galactic space federation up there, and that we will be, after whatever happens, and something is going to happen very soon. There's no doubt in my mind, because they cannot allow this election to go on, because Trump will win this election if they let it happen. That's just common sense. Like Trump, don't like Trump. The reality is they've made a martyr out of him.
Yeah.
So I believe that there are good aliens out there waiting to help us so that we can ascend to another level of peace and happiness on this planet. Yes. And I could go deeper and deeper. That's just the summary. And you know that,
Yeah.
like, I could spend hours.
That's another show.
But there is, an intrinsical connection between our souls and our idea of God and each other. And I believe that we are way more powerful than they want us to be. And that's why they do some of the things they do to us. And whether or not you believe in aliens, or you believe in the Bible, or you read Revelations, the reality is there's something evil right now, and it's trying to get us. And the only way to get over it is to continue to be light and speak light, be truth, speak truth, be character, and have character. And so that's how I try to live my life.
I think the biggest problem I have, although I do believe, but how such a big secret can be kept a secret, like, advanced technologies, and if government, all these undergrounds and UFOs and underground this, and I don't have to, but how you can keep that big of a secret and go unnoticed all this time?
It's easy. It's called a
Really?
television. They distract you.
Oh yeah.
It's all in plain view. You have heard this theory that they have to tell us everything. If you watch movies, that's why Hollywood is so involved with the government. They're telling us everything they're doing. And as long as we don't say no, they consider that a yes. So they've told us all about aliens. It's not a secret. They had a whole show about it called The X-Files that ran for 9-10 seasons. They've had tons of movies about it. It's all over. They're not keeping anything a secret. It's just that they've got you so distracted with money and movies and food and social media and yada, 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 and going to work and being their slave that nobody's paying attention because we're comfortable with our cell phones and our video games and our cars and our sushi. So we're all just going to say willfully blind. I'm just going to ignore it because to think about it, it just means that I would have to do something and I'm so comfortable. So I'm just going to put my blinders on and go through life and pretend like I don't believe any of this stuff is existing. And unfortunately, about 90% of the population of the planet is doing that. And so that's how they keep a secret, because the secret isn't a secret. It's right there in plain view, but they just consider us all stupid, useless eaters. There you have it.
It's hard to differentiate fantasy from reality. They've made it so, but again, until you start paying attention or start believing it, I've got close friends that I talk to him and he's like, "Oh, Peter, really? Come on." And I got to go, so they're making me like I'm the crazy guy. It's like, all right, listen, I don't care. I'm just telling you this. Keep it in the back of your head. That's all I'm saying. Because maybe I am crazy. What do I know? But I know that we definitely can't be the only intelligent beings out of this entire, universe plus, but universe plus, there's the next one. Anyway, all right, look, I want to play one more video and then we got to go because, and we'll pick it up another time and really go into, because I know all about the Anunnaki and all this kind of stuff. I just don't want to, I want to open up the can of worms, but it's a can of worms and I can't open it up right now. But again, we got a whole nother show for you down the road. Check this. This to me sums everything up from you. It's a video I picked up, and then we'll just close out your visit with us on this and your final words. But check this out.
Just one more unpopular opinion for the year. Just one more myth to dispel. You can never, ever, ever, ever fix your insides by changing your outsides. And anybody who tells you you can is doing you a great injustice. You run out and you're doing all these things to your body, whether it be excessive plastic surgery, cutting things off, having things moved around, tattoos, dyeing your hair blue, pink, and yellow. I don't care what it is. It's not going to fix you. Because the work you need to do and the changes you need to be doing are the insides. And the problem is when other people see you, they see your outsides. But when you look in the mirror, you see your own soul. And that soul is the same soul and will remain the same soul that was born on this earth.
Truth.
Yep. No matter what, always work on your insides, because no matter how many tattoos you get, no matter what you cut off, no matter what kind of a mustache you grow or don't grow, you still see yourself. And it's yourself that you're trying to run away from. So do the work. Do the work. Sit inside a room and deal with your own thoughts. I've had to do it. Great thinkers do it. Great people do it. And you can be a great person if you do that. Don't run from yourself. That's what I would say.
I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of people in this world that don't have anybody to turn to or don't know how to turn to people, that need guidance. That's all they need is somebody like a father or what, there's a lot of people that unfortunately, don't have this or don't have that. And I mean, I was kind of lucky in life. I mean, we were kind of middle of the road, but I had that balance. And a lot of people have had other stories. I don't judge, but there's a lot of confused people now more than ever. And that's the problem. And, you can do all you want, but yeah, it's coming from within. I mean, I always just say like the pretty girl that stays home on Saturday nights. And I'm looking at that girl and going, there must be guys flocking at their doors. And she's so self-confident, just doesn't have the confidence, or, you don't know what's going inside their heads. You just don't know. Outside shows a whole different ball game, but it is what it is. All right, look, I want to thank you. Let's let everybody know where were we at? Right there. For those of you who want to find Carol, I suggest you go to Instagram. That's one of her spots. There's many. There's TikTok as well too. But they can find you on Instagram on Right Side Lesbian Art. Correct?
Yep.
They can find her there. You can find her there. You can talk to her. You can watch all her videos. She's got a gazillion of them, and the beat goes on. And you'll keep doing what you're doing. And I thank you for what you're doing. I hope there's more people paying attention because, again, I think there's such a huge lack of parenting that has gone on with this last generation that these are the people that are going to run the world. And I'm scared to death of this whole bullshit. I mean, I'm just hoping that the chosen few who still got their act together are the ones that get in there and not the brainwashed, because I never believed in brainwashing, but it's true and it exists. But
yep,
they can find you on Instagram, and again, I think you're pretty strong on TikTok too. That's where I originally found you, but you get a good grip of what Carol does on a daily basis. I mean, again, you got a lot of stuff out there. Any last closing? I know we just kind of wrapped it up, but I mean, anything left? Anything you want to talk about real quick before we leave?
Gosh, there's so much that we could say. I just want to thank everybody for whoever hung around and basically joined in the conversation with us. And I hope we get to do it again. It's a lot of fun.
Well, here's the beauty of it. After this show is over, it lives on in infamy and can be watched on demand. I mean, it's not like it's gone. If you missed it, you missed it. No. It lives on. It'll be on audio podcast on 26 different platforms like your Amazon Music, your Apple Podcasts, all the big ones. And it's on LinkedIn, Facebooks. All the shorts will be on your Instagrams and TikToks and X. It's on there. So they can find your show. They can find this episode and they can watch it whenever, and you can refer them because, again, you got a big fan base. But I think you were a plethora of knowledge. I don't consider this an interview. This is just really good conversation. And I thank you for giving me the time and coming on the show and doing this. You've been awesome. And I wish I could give you a hug.
Well, thank you. Virtual hug.
Yeah, there you go. That's not that, virtual hug reminds me of the COVID when we all fell for that bullshit. But again, it's a small world and it's not over. I think this is just the beginning of again, we have a new relationship and I'm glad. And I truly believe, I told you that off the air, but everything happens for a reason. So thank you. And we'll, believe me, down the road, you will be here again at whether I'm at a different level or moving backwards, doing the show under a bridge, you will be here again, So that's cool. All right.
Sounds good.
Everybody, Carol, wave to our audience and say goodbye. And thank you again for giving me the time. And again, I hope this show snowballs, which they normally do, and grows bigger and bigger. And then we can talk about it down the road of I'm glad that we did it. So I'll see you soon. All right. There you go. All right. Where are we at? And I'll see you later. Last chance. If you want to find Carol on Instagram, just go to Instagram, Right Side Lesbian Art. I forgot to ask her about her art. See, I got a million more questions because she's an artist too. But we'll get her on the next show. But Instagram, go find her on there. The TikTok too, but Instagram, I think she said, is her main hub. You can find her there. Right Side Lesbian Art on Instagram. Look at that. There you go. All right. Where are we at? All right, we got to wrap it up. Man, I tell you, it was going to go long. And I'm looking at in my mind when we're talking, I'm going, all right, it just ends up being another 2-hour show. What the hell? It's nobody's gonna just say, get off the air quick. You're running over. All right. Look, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and for whoever's paying attention, even when we're not live, and catching this show whenever you catch this show. I truly appreciate you. I want to remind you, next week, I have free thinker and podcaster Matt Kim on the show. This guy is awesome. I tell you, this guy just really knows how to tell you about, defining good from evil and what's going on in this country. Because there's a lot of crap going on, and he has this just calming kind of way, common sensibility, intellect, and not being intimidating to steering you and trying to explain things to you. So you're not going to want to miss that. Mark it on your calendar. Join me next week. Just join me. Subscribe, please. Please. But next week, Matt Kim is going to be on this show, free thinker, podcaster, about everything that's going on in this world right now and trying to explain it to you, to decide, unfortunately, they divide us up. They're trying to put us in teams, and there's a lot of evil going on, and you need to be awake. You need to friggin' think for yourself and not just go by what the headlines are telling you. They're programming you. But what do I know? I'll let Matt explain that. So next week, mark that on your calendar. Again, thank you for tuning in. Please, 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 I need you to subscribe, please, okay? I need your help. They're giving me all kinds of problems. Go to YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button. It's free. Facebook official Peter G Show page. Hit the follow. LinkedIn, the X, all these places. Instagrams when you're seeing the shorts. Just do it, okay? And I know it's hard to watch a long show like this. I get it. I don't have time to do a lot of this stuff. I'm busy doing a show. But if you don't have time, put an earbud in your ear, because you want to pay attention, because there's good information here, Google Peter G Show podcast. Take the show on the road with you. You can hear it audibly. It all counts. Knowledge is power. Take the show on the road while you're driving, when you're at work, whatever you want to do. Just so long as you pay attention. I promise you there's a category and there's a show topic for everybody. It's just the way it is. All right? Do that. That's basically it. We are done. And they're going, oh, thank God. No, thank God. And actually, thank God. Hope you got the point, because we're all here for a reason too. And Carol brought a good point. And I think this is about one of the first shows that I've been able to address this topic with so much detail, besides just touching on it on a current event show, which when I go off by myself and you're just listening to me. So thank you. All right. Just a reminder, as always, I love you guys for watching. I do. Just be kind. It's a tough world out there. I say that to my daughter every day. I need her to become somebody, because the world is counting on her to have her shit together to help keep the balance. But the world is rough. People are going through a lot of hard times. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a lot of shit from people either. Find that balance, okay? Life is short. Finding that out more and more every day. I thank God every day for being able to wake up and just go at it again, because I do wake up and find out that there's people that I know and love that aren't here anymore. And it hurts. I hate losing people. I'm greedy. Maybe there's a better afterlife. I don't know. But right now, here's where I'm at. And I got things to do, and I'm on a mission, and there's a reason why we're all here to do something. Just do something. Be productive. Be a decent human being, okay? I love you. Thank you for watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. I had to think about it. 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Great show, long show, but worth it. I love you. I truly do. All right? As always, I'm Peter G. I love you guys, and peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorce Dad.